Hello and welcome to our June 2025 edition of our Global College Spotlight. Each month, we introduce you to a top university outside of the United States where students can pursue full undergraduate degrees that are completely taught in English. Today's Global College Spotlight is featuring Erasmus University College in the Netherlands. AUC, as it is also called, is the Liberal Arts and Science College of Erasmus University in Rotterdam and offers an exciting curriculum. Aside from specific academic core courses, students are free to create their own curriculum and can choose to specialize in many fields, including molecular, life sciences, economics, PPE, and international law, and even pre-med. As always, today's Global College Spotlight is hosted by Global College Advisors, and I'll share a little bit more about GCA in just a moment. But first, let's go over some housekeeping notes. For anyone who has questions, please know we will have a Q&A session after the presentation. If you have any questions during the presentation, please put them in the chat so we can get to them later. Secondly, the webinar is being recorded and we will post the video on our YouTube channel later on. So please go to the Global College Advisors YouTube channel if you would like to rewatch some of the information that we will share today. To start things off, let's move into some introductions. My name is Cornelia Betschart-Fortes. I'm the founder of Global College Advisors, also GCA in short. At GCA, we connect students with universities across the world, including the United States. We provide personalized college consulting and help students explore both US and international university options to find the best social, academic, and financial fit. So from college research to essays and application strategy, we are here to support your student every step of the way. So before we learn more about EUC in Rotterdam, let's take a moment to meet our presenter, Shelley DeVos. Shelley is the Marketing and Recruitment Officer at Erasmus University College, which is the Liberal Arts and Sciences program of Erasmus University Rotterdam in the Netherlands. She works closely with prospective students, families, and also university counselors, and supports students with the Dutch application process. She also provides insight into student life and guidance on the study approach at EUC and in the Netherlands overall. So welcome, Shelley. I'm so happy you're here with us today. I will stop sharing my screen and we are ready for your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Cornelia. Let's see if we can get this started. There we go.
Perfect.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for that great introduction. I indeed work as a student recruiter at Erasmus University College, and today I will tell you more about studying in the Netherlands and give you a closer look at what it's like at EUC. So the Netherlands is one of the most internationally minded countries in the world, home to people from over 200 nationalities. And while Dutch is the national language, the country ranks second in English proficiency in continental Europe, making it super accessible for international students. Many students choose the Netherlands for its high quality education and the large number of bachelor programs, over 200 actually, and they are taught in English. You'll study in a safe, open-minded environment with a mix of cultures and support for international students. Studying in the Netherlands means joining an international classroom with students from all over the world. And there are plenty of opportunities to go on exchange or to do an internship. And student life is active with clubs, events, and strong support systems to help you feel at home both academically and socially. Tuition fees are very affordable, especially in comparison with US private colleges and universities. Between 2,000 and 6,000 for EU citizens, and between 8,000 and 20,000 for non-EU students, and that's per year. And the cost of living is often lower than major US cities. And then after graduating, you will hold a globally recognized degree. You will also be eligible to apply for a one-year visa to stay and look for a job. So the Netherlands isn't just a great place to study, it's also a great start of your career. And finally, the Netherlands has world-class biking infrastructure. And so getting around isn't just easy, but also eco-friendly. So you can imagine biking through beautiful flat streets to campus every day. Oh, there we go. In the Netherlands, there are two main types of universities. There's research universities, which are academically focused and theory driven, and universities of applied sciences, which offer more practical, hands on approach tied to more specific careers. When you're exploring study options in the Netherlands, it's important to understand that not all bachelor programs have the same type of application process. There are three main categories you need to think of. There are regular programs with open admissions. So if you meet the basic entry requirements, like your high school diploma and any subject prerequisites, you're in. And these programs usually don't involve extra steps beyond the application. Then there's selection-based programs, which have an additional admission process. It's common for university colleges, but also for art schools. You'll probably submit a motivation letter, sometimes a portfolio or a reference, and maybe you'll do an interview. So these programs focus on fit and your academic motivation, not just your grades. And then finally, there's numerous fixes programs, which have a limited number of spots and a national deadline. Usually it's around 15th of January. You can think of programs like medicine, psychology, international business. They often are this category. And there's usually a selection process. So sometimes involving assessments, motivation letters, or other criteria. Um, you can apply to all these kind of programs through StudyLink, the national central application system, where you can choose up to 4 programs in total, but only 2 of those can be in the as fixes. And keep in mind, even though it's centralized, each program sets its own deadlines, documents, and selection process. So always check carefully on the university's website and start early. So let's talk briefly about what's happening in Dutch higher education, because you might have seen some headlines about changes. And yes, there's been a lot going on, and it can sound a bit more dramatic than it actually is. The Dutch government has been looking for ways to manage the rapid growth of international student numbers. And the pressure comes from 3 main challenges: the budget cuts, a national housing shortage, and concerns about classroom capacity and accessibility. But let me be very clear, this is not because international students aren't welcome. In fact, universities value internationalization deeply, and it's about ensuring that the system remains sustainable for everyone. The original government proposal included things like a national language assessment called the TAO to decide whether a program could continue being taught in English, and even a requirement that 2/3 of the bachelor programs be in Dutch. There were also suggestions to cap enrollment numbers in some programs. Now, in response, universities proposed their own measures, things like reducing intake in certain oversubscribed programs, or adding limited spots to popular English taught tracks like business, economics, and improving Dutch language offerings for staff and students. And some psychology programs in bigger cities may switch to Dutch only, and universities are coordinating those more closely to distribute students more evenly. Most of these changes are expected to start around 2027, 2028 at the earliest, and university colleges are not affected by these plans because these are small scale, selective, and intentionally international programs, and they already have um, a careful selection process, so they don't contribute to the same pressure and mass enrollment. So yes, the landscape is shifting, and there's some political drama, including the fact that the cabinet pushing these changes recently collapsed. So currently we are not with a government. But the key takeaway is the Netherlands remains one of the most welcoming and accessible destinations in Europe for international students, and that includes a strong commitment to excellent English taught education. So now that you've got a sense of the bigger picture, let's zoom in on something quite unique in the Dutch system, university colleges. These are specialized bachelor programs offered within regular Dutch research universities, but they're very different in structure and philosophy. University colleges follow the liberal arts and sciences model, which you might recognize from the US. They're small scale, fully English taught, and designed for curious, motivated students who want to explore multiple academic fields before specializing. You build your own curriculum, guided by academic advisors across areas like humanities, social sciences, life sciences, and more. And there are currently 8 university colleges in the Netherlands, each with its own flavor and strengths. So, what do university colleges offer? They offer broad interdisciplinary bachelor programs focused on academic depth, flexibility, and personal development, all within a close-knit community, um, a close-knit and highly international community. So it's a liberal arts curriculum. You can choose across a wide range of disciplines from science to sciences to social sciences, humanities to business, and design your own academic journey. It's international by design. A large portion of both students and faculty come from abroad, creating a globally minded classroom and campus experience. It's small scale, seminar style type of learning. Classes typically have 15 to 25 students, opening the class up to discussion, critical thinking, and close contact with lecturers. They're residential communities. Most university colleges offer on campus housing, helping create a strong community where students live and learn together. It's honest level and they're selective. So these programs are part of research universities, but with higher academic standards and a more intensive curriculum for ambitious students. And they focus on personal growth. So beyond the academics, students are encouraged to develop as independent thinkers, engaged citizens, and future change makers. So it's perfect for curious, motivated students if you are one of those and you want to explore your interests, shape your degree, and thrive in a dynamic, supportive learning environment. A university college might be something for you. In the Netherlands, university colleges offer a very different experience from traditional bachelor programs. And while traditional degrees have a mixed curriculum and start from day one, because traditional degrees have a mixed curriculum and start from day one in a specific subject, university colleges follow a liberal arts and sciences model, allowing students to explore courses across disciplines, as you can see. Classes between 50 to 25 students, unlike the large lecture halls common in the regular programs. And admission to university college is selective and includes motivation letters or interviews or resumes, depending on the college, as they are honors level programs designed for highly motivated students. They often offer residential housing, helping build close-knit international community, whereas housing in regular programs is not guaranteed. So overall, university colleges are a great fit for curious, engaged students who value academic flexibility, personal attention, and community living. While all university colleges offer liberal arts and sciences program, there are key differences to consider when choosing between them. So some are part of large urban universities with access to a broad range of facilities and city life, while others are based in smaller towns with a more campus-style experience. The curriculum structure also varies. Some colleges offer predefined majors, others allow full flexibility in course selection, and teaching approaches can differ too. Some focus more on project-based or interdisciplinary learning, while others emphasize academic research. Community life is another point of difference. Most are residential, but the term, the size, and the intensity of the student community varies. And finally, consider what kind of community and environment fits you best. Large versus small, traditional versus innovative, urban versus intimate. These are all things to keep in mind when comparing university colleges across the country. So, what does all of this look like at Erasmus University College? So, like the other colleges, EUC offers a broad interdisciplinary liberal arts and sciences program. But what sets us apart is our deep integration with the city of Rotterdam and the unique academic opportunities we provide. As a student here, you're not just studying in the city, you're part of it. EUC students regularly engage in meaningful community work, from collaborating with the municipality and local organizations to projects with the Rotterdam Zoo and other social initiatives. Our central location means you're immersed in the energy and the diversity of Rotterdam from day one, with countless ways to learn from and contribute to the city around you. Now, academically, EDUC offers majors across humanities, social sciences, economics and business, and life sciences, all taught using problem based learning in small interactive classes. A unique option at EUC is our pre-med track. The pre-med option prepares students for further medical study with a strong life sciences foundation. If you want to continue in a Dutch medical master's, you will need to learn Dutch and complete a pre-master's in Dutch, which adds an additional year to your medical journey. But many of our students also continue their medical journey in other countries. And finally, EUC offers guaranteed first year housing and a vibrant, welcoming international community where around 60% of both staff and students come from outside the Netherlands. And this diversity enriches the learning environment and connects you to a truly global network. Another unique option I would like to offer here is that at EUC there is the RASL, as we call it, Rotterdam Arts and Sciences Lab. And it's a collaboration between EUC, Codarts, and Willem de Koning Academy. This program is ideal for creative students as it allows you to combine your EUC studies with a degree in either code arts, classical music, jazz, pop, or Willem de Koning Academy, advertising, fashion design, product design, fine arts, and photography. Over 5 years, you will earn 2 degrees, one academic, one artistic, for just one tuition fee. It's a truly integrated program that supports both your intellectual and creative ambitions. So, when you're applying to Erasmus University College, your motivation and high school diploma grades are the first thing that we look at. On the next slide, we'll take a closer look at the admission requirements specifically for American high school diplomas. So, hang on a moment. But if these meet your requirements, you'll be invited to an interview. If not, unfortunately, you won't proceed to that stage. It's important to know that we do not work with predicted grades, only achieved grades count. And the application process starts by registering through StudyLink and completing your application in our admissions portal. After the interview, you will receive a decision, which is either an offer, a conditional offer, or a rejection. Please keep in mind the deadlines. The 15th of January is our regular deadline, and the 1st of May is the late deadline. And applying early is always a good idea to boost your chances and get everything sorted on time. For students with an American high school diploma, we look closely at your average grade. You will need a minimum GPA of 3.0, and in addition, you must have completed at least 4 AP courses with scores of 3 or higher. Since math skills are important for some of the interdisciplinary courses we offer, you will need a minimum score of 3 on AP Calculus AB or BC. Alternatively, if you don't meet these requirements, you can take the OMT-A test and aim for a minimum score of 70. English proficiency is exempted for American diploma holders, and this focus on average grades, math, English helps ensure you'll be prepared for the diverse academic challenges at EUC. And that's it. You can scan the code if you'd like to find more information, and I will move it over to Cornelia again.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Perfect, yeah, so you unshared the screen. Let me just put our last slide on. And perfect, can you see it?
Yes.
Awesome, perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much, Shelley, for this great overview, not only about Erasmus University, but also studying in the Netherlands overall. That was really informative, and thanks for including all the updates, what's happening and going on in the Netherlands right now. So I do have a couple of questions. I don't see any in the chat, so I'll just go ahead asking my questions that I have prepared for you. Can you tell us, so you included the tuition, I think, did you mention something about the housing, that it's only available for the first year, correct? If I remember reading the information correctly. So the housing is for all international students, no, actually for all the students, it's there, right? For the first year. And then after the second year, they have to go and find their housing outside of EUC. Maybe you want to elaborate a little bit on that.
Yes, at EUC, it's only for our first years, so not for the second and third years. So only the first years have housing. They all live together. It's very near our campus, so it's in the heart of Rotterdam. You have your own room, you have a kitchen, you have a bathroom, and there's also some shared spaces, but most of it is your own. And you live together with all the first years, and that's not accidentally. That's on purpose because we want to create that community. We want to we want you to have already built a community for the coming years in your university journey, and that's our students really appreciate living together in the first year, and often they also say, "I'm glad that it ended in the first year and that we had to look for our own place in the second year," because they feel move on to being more independent. So it's a
really?
great start.
Really, because it's a beautiful housing that you offer, I have to say. I visited once and was very impressed about the housing opportunities that you have in place for the students. I believe on one of your slides there was a little picture of one of the dorm rooms, actually. So for anyone who is watching the video, they should go back to that slide and get a little glimpse of how it looks. It's really beautiful. So thank you for that, for sharing that. My other question is, since you mentioned, it's very, I think for the university colleges, it's very special that you actually offer a pre-med route. Is that correct? I don't think the other university colleges are offering it specifically as a pre-med route, correct?
They do.
Okay.
Some do. Utrecht also has one.
Oh, okay. All right. And so where do you see
But
students?
ours
Sorry, I think our internet connection is a little bit off. What did you say?
I said Utrecht also offers one. The difference is that we have a connection with Erasmus Medical Center. It's part of our university. And we also have 24 reserved spots for our university college. So there are, while there are other university colleges that offer the pre-med track, it's just a little bit different at our university. There's just a little bit more connection there with the medical
Okay.
center.
So yeah, so I think you cut out a little bit again, but I think what you were saying is that obviously students have the chance to be involved in a hospital setting early on in that sense, right? Because you have those spaces available at there. Okay, we lost Shelley. I hope she will be back and dialing back in. Um, Here she is. Okay, perfect. There you go. Shelley, are you there?
I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay. So, yeah, so that is really an awesome opportunity, I think, with the pre-med program. I was wondering if you can tell me if you had any US students, where was their path afterwards? Did they go back to the US into medical school? Or how do they have a chance at medical school? Did you have students that maybe pursued that route?
Um, I had one student who pursued that route. I'm honestly not very sure where she's at right now. I know that it's not easy. Uh, uh, it's not a one-way street to the US. So you will have to do something additionally to go back to the US and pursue medicine. I see a lot of our students going to the UK. There's some great master programs. I think in Spain there's a great master program that our students go to. But the US requires um, some additional things to actually go back.
Okay.
I have to say it's more
Right. Okay. Well, that's
complicated.
helpful to know that basically going into this. So I think that's really helpful. And then you mentioned in your presentation that obviously some of the university colleges are project-based, others more research-based. Where are you guys as the university college?
Yeah, we are focused. A lot of our classes, almost all of them, are problem based. So our classes are small. We have 12 to 14 students in a classroom. And problem based learning is that there is a topic and there are students with a lecturer. They analyze the problem together. They find solutions for the problem together. And the lecturer is not just there to send the information, but you really analyze it with each other. And every week you come together and you read upon your findings and you discuss. So problem-based learning is what we actually do here at the university.
Okay, great. Thanks for explaining that. And are there opportunities for students already early on for participating in some research? Obviously, there are hands-on projects, as you mentioned, because problem-based learning, that's probably automatically part of it. But is there also a chance for them to participate in any research with the professors?
Yes, sometimes they request student assistance. There's also opportunities to do internships. I know that there have been some students who did internships at the Rotterdam Zoo, for instance, for life sciences. So those are options. Though I have to say, these usually come about because students pursue them themselves. So you have to take your own initiative, show initiative, and then these can help if you start talking to your professors. They will for sure help you out, but the initiative has to come from you. And that's actually so in the Netherlands. We will support you and we will help you, but we're not a hand holding community. So you will always have to show your own initiative, and then uh, there will be support and help for you there.
Right, right, right. That's true that you actually, that's good that you mentioned that as well. Um, One of my last questions here, real quick. Um, so it's more maybe overall because I think it's very unique for the Netherlands when students go to university that you have the binding study advice. Do you want to maybe mention that? Because I think it's important for students who are looking towards the Netherlands to go to university there that they understand what they're in for, so to say. That there is obviously the binding study advice that lets them either that allows them to continue their study or not, right? So maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the binding study advice is implemented by the government, and it does give universities room to determine the amount of points. So that differs per program, but the amount of points determine that you get to at the end of your first year determines if you can continue your study or not. So if you don't reach those amount of points implemented by the program, you are either told that you did not make the first year and you will have to stop your study, or you continue into your second year. That's basically what it comes down to.
So basically, after that, if they don't meet the study advice, they basically have to unenroll, right? And either apply to another program and I think I remember if I remember that correctly, they
Yes,
meet the advisor at the after the first semester already, right? So they kind of get an idea, will they meet the study advice or not? So they will have a chance to probably apply to another program if they see they will probably not make it. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct. And especially at university colleges, our college as well, we have student counselors who will guide you through the first year, step by step, also help you determine your major, help you to see where you are at when it comes to binding study advice. So it will not be a shock. Um, you will know where you stand ahead of time. So there's help and support when it comes to that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for answering all my extra questions here. I think those are the main points that I wanted to address. We have reached the end of today's Global College Spotlight with that. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. A special thank you to you, Shelley, for taking the time to introduce us to Erasmus University College in Rotterdam, and also for sharing such valuable insights about studying in the Netherlands overall. Before we close, a quick update. There won't be a Global College Spotlight in July as we are taking a short summer break, but we will be back in August with a fresh lineup of international universities from around the world. So stay tuned. Our upcoming newsletter will reveal the next round of Global College Spotlights featuring universities in Spain, Italy, Ireland, and more. And yeah, with that, I wish everyone a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in August. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.